What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So first of all, thank you so much for 60K. We're already at 60K, bro. We were celebrating 50 last week. Today, as promised, for 50K actually, I wanted to talk about my life, how I got to where I am. Think of it kind of like a talk my life, not a draw my life, but a talk my life. Pretty much just gonna go through my story, my adventures, what it took for me to get here. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, and you know this wouldn't be a PokéDaxi video without timestamps. So if you want to check out any section about my life, check the timestamp below. So if you don't know me, my name is actually James. That's actually my legal first name. My middle name is Dax. Most people call me Dax. As a kid, I was always known as Dax, but my legal name is actually James. My mom is actually French. She's born in France, in the northern France, I believe. And then my dad is actually Canadian. He's born here in Ottawa, where I do live. So I'm 50% French, but I'll be honest, since I grew up in Canada, I am more English driven, and you know, my French is not amazing. It's good, but it's not like I can't keep up with a French person. Like, you know, those people in France, bro, they speak fast. Pretty much grew up as, I would say, you know, a shy kid. I was always just trying to fit in, be part of the group in high school, middle school, all that. I was always just trying to have friends. I did have a couple close friends, people who lived on my street and people who knew I was young, which is the ones I would always hang out with and always have the most fun. We would stay up till like 3 a.m. with our DS's playing Diamond and Pearl, grinding like Gibbles and things like that, or you know, whatever game we were into, Halo Reach, whatever game we wanted to play. I am 20 years old, by the way. I was born in the 2000s, so I'm a 2000s baby. I had friends. I was that guy who, you know, would bounce around friend group to friend group. I was just always trying to be as nice as possible, and you know, never be mean. Those are my values, you know, be nice as possible. You know, I was never, you know, an outside the box kid. I always thought I was gonna go to university. Well, actually, I never really knew what I was gonna do, but I had a friend who his name is Jaden, but pretty much we were friends all the way up till grade 8, and then for grade 9 and 10, he went to a soccer school because he was going to become a soccer player. He ended up coming back to the high school that I was going to at the moment, and this man was an entrepreneur. His dad owns plenty of business. He was kind of like my closest friend in grade 11 and 12, and actually in all the grades before that. Pretty much he kind of inspired me to start having that entrepreneurial mindset. This led to 2016, I believe, when I was in grade 11. Pretty much in grade 11, there's 12 grades, by the way, in Canada in total. So second last year, he started taking photos, and you know, I always found kind of like a follower. Like I said before, I was trying to fit in, and you know, I was like, you know, my sister has a camera, let me go and take some photos. And that's how my creative career kicked off. I'm gonna throw up a couple of my first ever photos. They weren't good at all. Pretty much the aesthetic we were going for and what we were inspired by were people like Sam Colder, Jay Alvarez. All these travel photographers and filmmakers were blowing up at the time. Pretty much people who would go to like Bali, to India, take these crazy beautiful photos. And you know what, as a kid, you know, human nature is to copy and to be like someone, and I was super inspired by that. So that's what I was trying to do. That's what I was practicing and pretty much taking photos, and that's what I wanted to be at that time. I wanted to be a travel photographer / film person like Sam Colder, Jay Alvarez, and all those people. One thing led to another, and I started doing video in 2017. My first ever video, and I don't recommend you ever do this, was actually skiing behind a car. We had like a rope, and I was getting towed, or people were getting towed on some super snowy day here in Canada. Super illegal, don't ever do it. Honestly, I took that video down for sure. But pretty much I started doing videos, and at that time I started getting inspired by people as well as Peter McKinnon. And if you don't know these people at all, they're pretty much just these huge people in the film and photography YouTube community, and you know, they're super inspiring and they take amazing photos and pretty much teach people how to take photos. I have a theory, I call it the Peter McKinnon photographer boom, and it's pretty much once Peter McKinnon blew up, which I think he has like 4 million subscribers now, but I remember watching him when he had like 200K. He blew up, and pretty much all of Instagram became photos similar to Peter McKinnon's, and so many people started doing photography at that time and trying to make a creative business and all that, and I'm giving credits to Peter McKinnon for that, and I was one of those people as well. So pretty much started taking photos and doing videos, posting on Instagram and YouTube on my second channel, which I will link below, but we'll get into that in a bit. Also, coming back to my friend Jaden, me and him decided to try to attempt a couple businesses while we were in high school in grade 11 and 12 and a bit after high school. We attempted multiple companies, although most of them failed. We have NTRL, which was a clothing brand. Everyone was starting clothing brands back in the day. If you don't believe me, I literally have one of the shirts right here. Pretty much we started this clothing brand right here. and it was unsuccessful. The only sales we made was really to our friends. That failed, so we tried to become the middleman of NTRL, and pretty much we would find people who wanted to start clothing brands. They would pay us to, you know, get the clothing, put on the prints and all that, so they have the design, then like distribute it, and we would just pretty much be like a distributor, which honestly, I don't know why that was ever a good idea, bro. We were like running out of like my parents' basement. We tried selling Amazon products online. That was super popular, like drop shipping and all that at the time, and I think it still is. Online digital products, like, you know, just like ebooks and things like that. You can buy them off sketchy websites and then like sell ebooks to people, which is like free for you. Bad ideas. And then we also started a music video production company because we wanted to take our video skills to the next level. So we started a rap music video production company. On screen is actually our first video. I'll show you guys, you can check it out. I'll also link below the channel where they post all the music video productions, but I'm gonna get into that in a bit. But we did start one of those. I'll be honest, most of those failed. Most of those, we either got like, you know, this is not fun at all, we don't wanna do this, or, you know, we just weren't making any money. But all while I was doing this, all while Jane and me were doing this, I was also posting videos on my second channel, which were pretty much just copycat videos of like Peter McKinnon and these big people. I pretty much, although I didn't really have the skills to back it up, I was telling people how to take photos, how to do the edits, all this. It was pretty much a channel about teaching people how to do photography and video, which honestly, I really shouldn't have been doing because me, myself, I had only been doing it for 2 years, so I didn't really have the skills to back it up, I would say. And those videos are still up, so you can check out the channel below if you'd like to check out some of my first ever videos. And then also I was actually doing travel vlogs and all that because I did, like I said before, I was inspired by Peter McKinnon and all that. So I made travel videos. My first ever video was at Mont Tremblant, which is a ski hill near us, and it's pretty much like a, you know, cinematic boom, 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 you know, crazy shots. And my videos actually did get better over time. If you see like ones from like last year, because I did post a couple travel videos from last year, they got better. So we were doing this from grade 11 to grade 12, and we graduated, and you know, at that point I was in a rut. I didn't want to go to university because I thought that these companies and my YouTube channel was going to blow up, and I wanted to give it a bit of time, so I ended up taking 2 years off. During these 2 years off, I was not only doing companies that I mentioned earlier with Jaden, trying different things out, I was also working at McDonald's. At first I was just a crew back in high school, but then I became a manager pretty much right after high school, and I was a manager there for about 2 years. Tough job. I was working like 35 to 40 hours every single week. And also I was working at McDonald's. I was also posting videos that I mentioned, like the tips videos, travel videos, or little adventure videos on my channel as well. So pretty much I was grinding, man. I had zero time. I was working at McDonald's, doing music video shoots, or trying sell different products, posting videos on my channel. That was probably one of those hardest grind sessions of my life for those 2 years off. Like, I'm not gonna say I was always fully on. I would take like maybe a month break or something like that, but I was working pretty hard. I got completely burnt out. Seeing no results, especially when you're working that hard, doing McDonald's and all that, like I was seeing 200 views max on these videos that would take, especially the travel videos or the adventure videos, they would take like nearly like a whole week to edit, and I'd see 200 views, and you know, I wasn't monetized or anything like that, so I wasn't making any money, and it's a burnout. Like, I'm not saying it's easy to go ahead and grind for nothing, although it can be necessary sometimes. It's not easy. It was super, super hard. And then one day my cousin messaged me. My cousin lives in Vancouver, which is across Canada, and pretty much he messaged me. He was like, yo, I'm going on a trip, you should come. And I was like, you know what? I should go. So I ended up going. My girlfriend came along as well. So we went, my girlfriend, me, and my cousin, and it was a backpacking trip. We went to Eastern Europe. If you don't know Eastern Europe, it's pretty much countries like Albania, Croatia, Montenegro, Slovenia. And we backpacked for 3 months in Eastern Europe. We hitchhiked as well. So I was hitchhiking in people's cars in Eastern Europe. And I'll be honest, Eastern Europe's not the safest place in the world. It's pretty safe, it's Europe, like it's compared to other places, but it's not the safest, especially for backpacking. Sleeping in hostels, sleeping in, you know, people's houses if they'd let us, you know, all that. It was quite the experience. I actually made a full video of my trip, which you can check out on my other channel as well. And that was actually one of my favorite, probably travel projects I've ever done. And I'll actually directly link the video if you want to check it out. Pretty much on May 20th, quit my job and went on that trip. 3 months of insane, amazing time. Before I tell you more about the trip, I just want to mention, while I was gone on my trip, my friend restarted the 350 Co. company, which was the music video production company, which is going to be important later. So just remember that. So the trip was amazing, amazing experience. I'm gonna be making shorts probably mentioning more details about the trip and some crazy stories, because I have some crazy stories on that trip, dude. I definitely recommend if you're younger to do any sort of trip experience, although you can't right now because of COVID. And this was all before COVID, by the way. You can get amazing perspective, because when I was there, I just realized that literally any of my problems or most of my problems that I have here, it's just not important at all. Like going on a trip like that is perspective changing. I can't, you know, explain how crazy that trip was and important in my life, those 3 months there. That trip was crazy, but I returned home with a new perspective. I actually became a vegan when I returned home and was vegan for 8 months. And then after those 8 months, I turned vegetarian, and I'm still vegetarian since that. So I've been vegetarian, I think about 2 years now. And yeah, I returned from my trip and went back to video grinding. My friend had started the video production company, like I mentioned, with another friend. And pretty much I didn't really want to do that as much anymore. I wasn't really in the vibe for it, especially running the company, because that's a lot of work. So I became a worker, a subcontractor, and I still do that work. So if you're curious, you know, is PokéDaxi my main job? No, it's actually technically a part of my 2 jobs. My other job is to shoot videos and edit videos for the company. So I'm kind of a worker now. Although I started the company and came up with a name, you know, did all this and got the company rolling, I'm now just a worker for it, and I'm fine with that. You know, I don't think running a company is for everyone, and I wasn't having fun, so that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I went back to video grinding. I was no longer working at McDonald's. I never went back to McDonald's ever since I quit, and I was shooting videos. Now this was probably the most grind session of my life. Since I had all this extra time, I was making like, I think I was posting about 2 YouTube videos a day on the other channel. And again, it was the same videos as before. It was tips, you know, best apps to edit your photos, best tips for video editors, all that. And then also, you know, sprinkling in a couple adventures. All while doing this, I was getting an uncontrollable itch. I was always itching myself, and it would just never go away. Like, it was insane. And then also I was getting night sweats. So I was getting pretty concerned. I was like, you know, do I have a medical issue? Is there something wrong here? And pretty much I kept going to the doctor. My doctor was like, hey, your skin's dry. Hey, you have scabies. And then sometimes I would go in and they'd be like, no, you don't actually have scabies. And I was just getting like a million answers. I kept going in and getting like, you know, student doctors. Like they kept giving me student people, and they would ask me the same questions every time and be like, oh, you're fine. You're good to go. So it was really frustrating until finally I got to talk to my family doctor, which is like the official doctor that runs your family. I don't know how it works exactly, but pretty much my doctor did a couple tests on me, and we ended up finding out that I had cancer. So yeah, I know you guys are gonna be like, oh my God, Dax, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I did have cancer. It's gone now. My treatment is fine. Before I talk about it, I don't need the sympathy. Like, I appreciate it. You guys are probably like, oh, that's the worst thing that happened. It happened. Things in life happen. You can't really do much about it. I got through it. I survived it, which I'm super lucky and grateful for, but let's talk about it. So yeah, pretty much my doctor diagnosed me with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is actually like not a really bad cancer to get. Cancer of the white blood cells. So pretty much like your immunitary cells, I think, something like that. It's actually probably one of like the easiest cancers to treat, like, and it was pretty early stage too. I think it was stage 1 or something like that, but I don't think it can go into the other organs. I'm not exactly sure how it works. We're fine. My doctor diagnosed me with 8 months of chemotherapy. Now, I'll be honest, it was every 2 weeks I would get chemo, and 8 months of chemotherapy is actually really hard. It's probably the hardest thing I've done in my life. I don't wish chemotherapy onto anyone. It's a really tough thing to go through. If you want a quick description of how it works, you pretty much just go get pumped with poison to kill all the cancer, and your head hurts, and it's just not fun at all. And also, COVID started just when chemo started, and you actually really have to watch out for COVID, because since it was the cancer of the white blood cells, pretty much chemo was killing all my white blood cells, meaning I was immunocompromised literally all throughout COVID. All throughout COVID, if I got COVID, I probably would have been toast. You have to really manage, keep your distance, and stay safe. And pretty much all throughout COVID, I haven't left my house at all, and I haven't really been allowed to leave my house because I was pretty much immunocompromised the whole time. I'm not immunocompromised anymore, but I was. One thing that did happen during my chemo treatment is I gained a lot of weight. If you've watched my videos at the start of the channel, you know I was bald, and also I was a little bit chunkier. And that's pretty much because I was getting these cravings. Cravings was a side effect of my chemo treatment. I was super hungry all the time for carbs especially, so I was eating a lot of carbs and all that. I wanted to make sure I ate, just because some people don't eat during their treatment. So I gained a lot of weight and lost all my hair. I was bald. I actually went from 165 to 215, which is a lot of weight. That 45 pounds, I think. Yeah, I gained 45 pounds in 8 months, which is pretty unhealthy. You know, there's not much I can do. I was going through chemo, bro. Now you might be like, yo, this doesn't sound fun at all. One thing that came out of all of this is I refound my love for Pokemon. Like I mentioned at the start, I used to play Pokemon with my cousins with my friends, all of that. I've played every single Pokemon game except Gen 1, Gen 2, except I did play the Gen 2 remake, and Gen 7. So I played every single Pokemon game, and I've beat every Pokemon game and grinded every Pokemon game, except those generations. Pretty much my dad bought me a Switch as a gift for starting my treatment there, and I got Sword and Shield because I wanted to try the new gen games. I had only played like, you know, the last game I had played I think was like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I wanted to try the new game. I got Sword, played it was super fun, and you know, I was like, you know, Pokemon's really fun, and I don't know how exactly happened, but I ended up downloading Pokemon Go again. Got back into my old account from 2016, because I didn't mention that actually I did play maybe 3 months in 2016. I didn't play that much, but the game was just too laggy for my phone. But I did play Pokemon in 2016 when it was super popular, but then I stopped playing it until now. And pretty much in April of last year, about like 14 months ago, I started playing Pokemon Go again, started grinding super hard during my treatment. The only thing I could really do was go to my chemo treatments and play Pokemon Go. That was pretty much all I was doing. Grinded up to level 40 super fast. The amount of knowledge I was taking into the game was insane. I am a nerd, and I have been playing Pokemon for a long time, so I already knew most of the basics of how Pokemon work. In those months of chemo treatment, all I was doing was researching things for Pokemon, playing Pokemon, grinding Pokemon. And that's pretty much how I know so much about the game, is because for about 6 months, that was my whole life. If you do something for 6 months straight and it's wake up, do that, wake up, do that, you're gonna learn so much about it. And that's pretty much what it was. I was watching all these YouTubers, I was taking in all the knowledge, reading Reddit forums, checking Discord, all that stuff. And the amount of knowledge I soaked into my brain about Pokemon was insane. I also stopped doing videos on my other channel because, you know, I didn't really feel up for it. I really didn't feel up for anything. I'll be honest. I didn't do anything for those 8 whole months except Pokemon Go because I couldn't work. You know, even if I did work, like it's just not possible because you do treatment and then your head hurts for a week and then you have a week kind of to chill and do anything, and then you do another treatment, and that's for 8 months total. My mom also played with me too. If you guys haven't seen my mom in some of the vlogs or in some of the streams, she does play. She's level 43, I believe, right now. I'm not 100% sure. I think she's level 43, but she did play as well. We played pretty much every single day together. She did actually retire. She's not retired anymore, like she fake retired, but she started playing back again, and we all played together, and pretty much me and my mom play. I also do have another brother and 2 more sisters. My 2 sisters did play a bit at the start, but they just stopped playing. So it's just me and my mom still playing Pokemon Go. But yeah, we are a family of 6, something I forgot to mention at the start. So I do have 3 siblings and 2 parents. Pretty much I grinded Pokemon Go and my life went back to normal after the treatment. My last treatment was August 18th. You can check me ringing my bell right there. And yeah, I was a pretty big boy at that time. Of course, COVID did not go away, so I still had to be careful. And my immune system was still pretty compromised for the next like 4 months. It takes like 4 months or so to recover after chemo treatment to get your system back to normal. So we are back to normal now, but for those 4 months, I still wasn't able to really do much and leave the house because I was still in danger of COVID. During those 4 months, as I was recovering, I was like, you know what? We're gonna lose this weight. So I went from 215 to 170 in about 4 months. I'm not 100% sure. I have a bunch of photos actually of the transformation. I lost a lot of weight. I was doing a lot of running. I was eating fine, but I was doing a lot of running and a lot of exercise to lose a lot of weight really, really fast. It's not that healthy to lose weight that fast. If you are trying to lose weight, make sure you spread it over time, because I kind of went really hard, but also some people do say it was a lot of water weight that I did gain during treatment. So maybe it was fake weight. I'm not 100% sure. One thing I did gain actually was stretch marks. I do actually have stretch marks on my like thighs because of the weight I gained and lost. Like if you think of it in like 12, 14 months, I went to 215 and then back down to like 170. So I went up in weight and then dropped right back down. And you can see it in the comparison, like my face now compared to my face during the end of my treatment. Like I lost a lot of weight, which again, I don't recommend doing that much, but it did happen. Pretty much you might be like, okay, well, you know, you're back, you're fine, you can start working again. What did you start doing? Well, I actually started posting videos on my other channel. Again, the Dax Relay channel. I was like, you know what, let's try it one more time. I think that's like the 3rd time I tried to grind it. And I started posting the same videos as before, tips, all that stuff. Also started working for my friend, which I mentioned before. I was still working for him. Of course, I did take those 8 months off from during treatment to not work or do anything like that, but I was back to working, and his company is actually very successful now. He's been doing a lot of videos and the production is crazy. If you compare one of the latest videos to, you know, some of the older stuff we did, it's crazy. He's killing it. Good job, man. But pretty much in October of 2020, I kept thinking to myself, you know, I have the skill set. I have been making videos since 2017 was when I released my first one. It's 2021, or it was almost 2021 at that point. And I was like, you know what? I've been making videos for super long. I have the skill sets. I have been watching all these Pogo YouTubers and super respect their grind, but I was like, you know what? I can do that. I have the knowledge, I have the skill set, I have the passion for the game. I love Pokemon Go. It's such a revolutionary game. There's no game like it other than other Niantic games. I'm a video game nerd and you know, I can do it. I know how to run a YouTube channel, although it hadn't been very successful. I think that I could make it as a Pogo YouTuber. So that's what I started doing. My first video was actually a vlog for Duskull Spotlight Hour. I think it was that. I actually wanted to originally be PokéDaxi because my real name is Dax, but there was a Spanish Pokemon YouTuber, I think, that's called that. So I went with PokéDaxi. You know, gotta respect the names of other YouTubers. And Daxi was a nickname that people used to call me when I was younger. But yeah, you know what? I was like, you know what? I can do it. So I took my passion for making videos because, of course, guys, don't forget, I loved making videos this whole time. There's no reason I wouldn't have been making videos. That's why, you know, those past 4 months I had been making them, even if the channel wasn't very successful. But then also I took my passion for Pokemon Go, slapped them into one, and PokéDaxi was born. So at first I was actually only posting videos on TikTok. If you don't know the platform TikTok, it's pretty much was one of my favorite platforms to post videos because I had an account that I was using pull traffic to my other channel. And I had a couple videos on that account blow up, you know, 200K views, 300K views. Pretty much that platform was my favorite because of the amount of reach you could get for being such a no-name person. And I thought that was where my success was gonna be in Pokemon Go. So I started, originally it was just it wasn't even, PokéDaxi wasn't even a YouTube channel. It was just a TikTok account. We're now at 185 followers on TikTok. I think actually almost 190K. So obviously the channel is doing amazing there on TikTok. But pretty much I started posting videos there. They started doing so well. I don't know how many Pogo people there was on TikTok at the time. I was very new to it, but we blew up so fast. I actually had so much growth on TikTok that I was actually messaging other YouTubers, sending them emails saying, hey, get on this right now. This is amazing growth. You have big success to do even better. I actually messaged the trainer club saying, bro, join. And he did end up joining it. Yeah, TikTok was an amazing platform. I still post videos, 3 videos a day on there if you want to check that out. But I knew that TikTok wasn't a long-term source of brand building thing. So I was like, you know, I got to make videos on YouTube, and of course I do have the skill set for YouTube. So of course I started a YouTube channel. I was posting here a lot less. My initial goal was 1 video a week because I didn't really want to burn it out. And also you have to note at the start of PokéDaxi, I was posting videos on PokéDaxi, my other channel, and editing videos for 350Co and the music video stuff. So I was doing 3 things at once. I was pretty much making YouTube videos for this channel, my other channel, and then also TikToks, this channel, and then my other channel. And this was all at once. So that was my whole life plus editing other videos. Pretty much after my chemo treatment and when I was feeling better to start working again. That's the story. I stayed consistent. I posted 3 videos a day on TikTok, which is a lot, like most of my time went into that. And then also I started posting, originally we were doing 1 video here on YouTube. You know, honestly, my schedule for YouTube posting is all over the place. My main consistency is gonna be streams. I know you guys know that I do Raid Hour, Spotlight Hour, and then also the GBL stream. And then also I always post 1 video on Friday. So that's pretty much how the schedule on channel works. I need to make a more consistent posting schedule here because pretty much whenever I have a video, I just kind of record it and post it. Like I don't really have a schedule. So I'll work on that for you guys, but pretty much that's it. I stayed consistent and here we are at 60K and rising. We are, I think, one of the fastest growing Pokemon channels right now, which is absolutely insane, guys. I can't thank you guys so much enough. Seeing my hard work finally pay off. 4 years earlier, I was just a little boy starting a channel saying, hey, I want to do videos. This is going to be so fun. If I could see myself now doing that and the success I've created, even if it's a completely different niche, I would be so proud of myself. I'm beyond happy that I've had success and all my hard work has paid off because I have had a lot of times where I wanted to quit and just, I don't know, climb up the corporate ladder at McDonald's or something. I don't even know, dude. I try in my videos to share tips that people and other YouTubers aren't mentioning. That's pretty much my main goal. And then also on this channel, we just love giving you information fast. I'm not judging any other YouTubers, but I find some of them do take a little longer to say the information, and all the power to them. They've built the brand. People love them. I love them. But on my channel, I want to give you guys the information as fast as possible. That's my goal. I don't want to waste your time because I know you guys have things to do. Everyone has a busy life. Trust me, I know it. I'm literally always busy. But yeah, that's pretty much the story, guys. There's been ups, there's been downs, from, you know, amazing trip to right after the trip I get cancer, you know, and then now we're here. I'm so excited to grow with you guys more. I'm so excited to keep building this channel. Pokemon Go, literally the best game in the world, but I hope Niantic does fix some of the issues and concerns we've been having recently, I'll be honest. Also, I did leave out, I am going to college right now. I'm taking entrepreneurship and innovation at Algonquin College here in Ottawa. So I am also doing school during this and also video editing. So currently my schedule is school, which it is summertime right now, so I don't have school, but school, which is actually part-time, PokéDaxi, and also I'm still shooting videos and editing videos for that production company. I love you all. 60K, 50K, 20K, I don't even care how much we're at, as long as there are people supporting me and I see that support. But that's pretty much the video, guys. I'm so excited to grow more with you, and I hope that my story might inspire some of you guys. We're gonna see you guys in the next one. Follow for more tips, baby. Peace.